What's up, guys? This is Tom Fazio. Welcome to the channel. If you are new, welcome back. If you're not, today I want to talk a little bit about meditation, which is not that uncommon for me, but in particular why you as a martial artist must be doing it, especially if you are competing or just taking the art seriously. So this may seem obvious to people that have been in the arts and meditating, but there are still a lot of martial artists and a lot of people that like martial arts and can appreciate it that don't really see the value or the correlation between meditation and performance, especially as it relates to martial arts. It has kind of a soft, woo-woo kind of Tai Chi ambiance to it. But it is important, and it does a few things that if we start to look at the science behind it, it matters a lot. It matters a lot for performance, whether or not you're a martial artist, but if you are considering yourself a craftsman where you're either training for elite competition or you are trying to prepare for a different, level of performance in life where life might be on the line to defend yourself or somebody that you love, then meditation becomes extremely valuable. And for the last, many years, the concept of neuroplasticity has been a talking point in meditation camps. Most people understand that when you habituate, when you do the same things over and over in thought or in action, your body actually solidifies neural kind of pathways and bonds that make it much more easier to keep doing the same thing and much harder to do different things. And it does so in a variety of ways, but normally because we start to connote either certain types of values, personal values, or emotions with certain types of experiences and stimuluses. So when something happens in our environment, after time, it might be novel the first time, might be interesting the second, but by the 10th, 20th, 50th time, we know where it fits within our framework. We like that, we don't like that, this feels good, that feels terrible. And so a lot of the practice of becoming a craftsman, for example, or somebody that is maybe good at anything. Martial arts is a performance art, no doubt about it, self-defense art. But to get good at it, you need smarter and smarter filters. You need smarter and smarter, strategies, methodologies, techniques that allow you to overcome, bigger, stronger, smarter, faster people than you that maybe don't have as much training. And this is a mixed bag, and this is really important to understand this because the frameworks that we take on as martial artists, while they are our biggest assets, right? They give us the tools, the insights, the perceptions to be able to navigate very complex situations. They also limit our frameworks. So, some of you guys might remember there was an old Bruce Lee quote where he was talking about, I think, the most difficult people to fight. And he said that those were, generally speaking, people with absolutely no experience, who were super fit, and people that were highly advanced martial artists. But the people that weren't so bad were everybody else in between, even into relatively advanced levels, like black belt levels, because they fit the mold, right? So if somebody is moving and operating in a way, I've been practicing martial arts long enough now that if somebody were to take a stance or a posture or something like that, I would know within a couple of seconds what their background was. Unless they practiced so much, they'd have been able to get beyond that and adopt their own type of movement and combative framework, which takes a very long time. So it's important to understand this, that what we take on when we train are not only advantages, but they're limitations in thought and action. That's supposed to provide an edge. It's supposed to limit the number of variables and factors that we focus on so that we start to identify a few really important things and focus on that. But at higher and higher levels, or with less time to assess scenarios like in self-defense, or at higher levels of performance where you need to fight very strategic, smart fighters that won't probably fall down for you within the first few seconds, this is a different game. And it's a game where these frameworks can work against you if you don't understand them well enough. So back to meditation, right? within that, to become good at anything, you got to throw tens of thousands of punches, tens of thousands of kicks, but within that, you are molding yourself into a form that does things a certain way. In thought and action, the more you fight, the more you start to incorporate certain types of patterns. When things really matter, think of the limitations of doing things the way that you've always done those things, because they make sense, because they might have they might have helped you when you were a white belt survive your first fight, and so you kept doing them the same way. Yeah, and so where meditation now steps in is that it is possible for you. Not all the time. We tend to revert back to kind of the default mode network and operational thinking for most things. But there are domains of meditation, domains of flow state performance, where you are not operating from the same points of neural conditioning, and you can almost bypass this habitual mind. And in those moments, if you are not operating from a state of kind of pre-programmed or preconceived, thoughts and actions, then you are open to an infinite number of possibilities. And this is really important. That's what meditation opens up for you. So it's not some mystical or magical power, but what it does is it allows you to dissociate and detach yourself from the ways in which you normally think and act, so that you can act and think in 10, 20, 50, 1,000 different ways. And that's opportunity. So for a martial artist, where you really have a lot at stake, right, in competition or on the street or something like this, you want the mind that can think of all possible things, not the mind that is habituated to think in one way specifically, because that might be too narrow or limiting. Yeah. So, guys, let me know what you think about that little rant. I think it's a really cool topic. It's actually one that I've been thinking about for 2 decades now. Probably ever since around I was received my first black belt. I think it's a critical conversation point in training and in performance. But it's something that is especially fascinating about looking at this aspect of conditioning when the stakes are that high, right? Self-defense, for example. So if you found this, at all interesting or valuable or, fun topic, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with it, let me know in the comments. Try to keep it positive if you can. But yeah, like, subscribe, be weightless. I will see you in the next video.